Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive into the stories and mysteries behind everyday things. Today's question comes from one of our curious viewers, Traffic Cone Collector. Thanks for the suggestion, Cone. You asked, how is asphalt actually made? If you've ever driven down a freshly paved road and thought, why does this smell like a burnt barbecue? Or wondered what that black stuff under your tires really is, this one's for you. Today, we're breaking down the science and chaos behind that black, sticky stuff that keeps your tires rolling smoothly. So, if you've ever wondered what's actually under your wheels, stick around as we unpack the surprisingly wild process of how asphalt is made, right here on Explaining Everything. Before we get to the roads, let's start with the goo. Asphalt begins its life deep underground as part of crude oil. That black liquid gold the world can't seem to live without. When oil refineries heat crude oil to make things like gasoline and jet fuel, the lighter stuff boils off first. What's left at the bottom is the heavy, stubborn, black residue that refuses to evaporate. That sticky residue? That's bitumen, the key ingredient in asphalt. It's like the cranky old grandparent of the oil family. Doesn't move fast, smells weird, and refuses to leave. So next time you're driving, remember, the road beneath you is made from the leftovers of your car's own fuel. Kind of poetic, right? The car drinks the light oil and rolls over the heavy oil. The circle of life, but way more flammable. Okay, so we've got bitumen. But if we paved roads with just that, we'd all be driving through black molasses. Bitumen alone is sticky, soft, and would melt faster than your patience in traffic. So here's where the real recipe begins. Take about 95% crushed stone, sand, and gravel, collectively known as aggregates, and mix them with about 5% bitumen. It's like baking cookies, but instead of chocolate chips, you use rocks. And instead of delicious dough, you get something that can withstand a 10-ton truck. The mix ratio is incredibly precise. Too much bitumen, and the road turns into a sticky mess. Too little, and it crumbles apart like cheap cake. So, engineers carefully measure the aggregate sizes. Fine sand for smoothness, coarse gravel for strength, and just enough bitumen to glue it all together. They mix it at around 150 to 180 degrees Celsius because bitumen has the personality of a diva. It only blends well when it's hot enough to practically vaporize your eyebrows. By the end, you've got hot mix asphalt, thick, black, and bubbling like a witch's cauldron. Except instead of spells, it's making highways. Now that we've got the ingredients, it's time to cook. Asphalt plants are basically giant industrial kitchens, but instead of cupcakes, they serve roads. First, the aggregates are dried and heated in massive rotating drums. Imagine a clothes dryer, but it's 30 meters long, spins like a jet engine, and could roast a turkey from orbit. The goal is to remove any moisture, because if even a drop of water sneaks in, when it hits hot bitumen, it'll explode like popcorn. And nobody wants asphalt confetti flying through the air. Once the aggregates are dry, they're sorted by size through vibrating screens. Big rocks, medium rocks, tiny rocks, like Goldilocks with a construction license. Then, everything gets funneled into a mixer where hot bitumen is sprayed in. It's a fast, furious blend, and the result is a perfect sticky mix of rock and binder. At this point, the asphalt is hotter than lava on a bad day, around 160 degrees Celsius, and it has to stay that way until it's poured. Trucks lined with thermal insulation rush to load up the mix before it cools. If it drops below temperature, it becomes useless. Like a souffle that collapses, except this one costs thousands of dollars and blocks traffic for hours. Timing is everything. Asphalt waits for no one. Now comes the grand finale, actually putting the stuff on the ground. The steaming hot asphalt arrives at the construction site, and the crew gets moving fast. Why? Because once it cools, it hardens faster than cold pizza in the fridge. First, a layer of old road or base material is cleaned and prepped. Then, dump trucks pour the fresh asphalt into a paving machine, which spreads it out evenly across the surface. That machine works with laser precision, literally. Sensors and GPS keep everything perfectly level, because even the tiniest bump can ruin the road. Next, a roller. Those massive, vibrating cylinders that look like steamrollers from cartoons, moves in to compact it. Each pass squishes out air pockets, fuses the layers, and gives the road that smooth, Instagram-worthy finish. You know, before someone drops chewing gum on it. Within a few hours, the asphalt cools and hardens. The result, a tough, flexible surface that can handle traffic, weather, and people who still think drifting in parking lots is a good idea. It's messy, hot, and loud work, but the end result is smooth, beautiful, and surprisingly satisfying to drive on. From crude oil leftovers to a perfectly engineered blend of rocks and goo, it's one of those things that sounds boring until you realize it's literally everywhere. It's a product of chemistry, engineering, and good timing. And it's all done so that we can complain about traffic on a perfectly paved surface. So next time you hit a pothole, remember, it's not the asphalt's fault. It's just tired of holding your car up all day. If you enjoyed this video, or if you are now enjoying a leisurely drive beneath the sunset, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other bingeable channels. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.